NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivey know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, close fists, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airways, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of drippos. Show you where the Brits at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Good morning, where my people at. Good morning to you. Welcome in. Good morning to you. Today's show brought to you in part by our friends over at Renew Community Church. They offer a Sunday morning masterclass that you can tap into on Facebook and YouTube at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Learn 5 steps to brainwash your very own mind so you can be happy. Morning to you. On today's show, I want to talk about numerous things, but 3 OMG stories that you might have missed. And as always, I say 3, but I'm prepared to talk about much more than that. I want to talk about some of the things that came out last night with the big meeting about the January 6th insurrection. And some of this stuff, I think people have just glossed this over. They just glossed this over. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. I got to talk to Junior. These kids these days. But as I was saying, last night, the first primetime televised January 6th committee hearing, I didn't get a chance to watch all of it. I watched a great deal of it. And then this morning caught some of the highlights as they were edited by various news sources. It's very interesting. And the long and short of what we learned last night is that, you know, even people in many people that worked in Donald Trump's White House knew he was lying about somebody stealing an election. Even his daughter, Ivanka Trump, knew he was lying about stealing an election. The head of the Justice Department knew he was lying about it. But this lying ass mofo was still telling lies because there's a lot of people out there that are looking for direction, and he took advantage of them. You know, Trump took advantage of them. All in an attempt to overthrow the government. It was a coup attempt. And people can say what they want to say. To me, that is absolutely remarkable that this happened within our lifetimes. Now, we talk about civil war and we talk about all these kind of things as if it's in the history, but this happened within our lifetime. And yet you still got people running around here talking about how Joe Biden is bad for the country. Absolutely ridiculous, man. But I'll give you some details on it. As always, I would encourage people to post things inside the friends page, the friends who like the Nathan Ivey Show page. It's a closed Facebook group, but I go there every single day, and it's a number one source for me to get ideas for the show. And somebody posted, I think it was Daryl posted this. Let me double check again. I'm going to give props to do. Yeah, Daryl Carpenter posted it. Shout out to Daryl. He posted it a few days ago. And I kind of saved it for today. I want to play the video for you, but let me set this video up for you before we get to that first. So in this video, you're going to see a black couple. It looks like it's a stepfather situation, and there's a disagreement about the role of the woman's child. It doesn't appear that the man you're going to see, that's not his biological son, but he's in a relationship with this woman, and she's got a grown son who I believe is nearly 30. He's like 29 years old, and he still lives or spends time at their house. And the stepfather wants to put some rules in place. He's a little bit upset about it. And I thought it was very, very interesting. That stepfather shit, that stepdad, stepmom stuff, that is a hard thing to deal with. That is not easy. And especially when you have a disagreement about, how to raise the kids and how to run the household. Okay. But I'm going to play this for you. And my question for you is, who is right and who is wrong? It's real simple. We'll get to that. Also, there has been an update on a story that we talked about that, matter of fact, I even showed it a video, and the video was hard to watch. And in the video, you saw an unarmed black man who was shot and killed by a police officer. There's been some movement in that case. I want to give you the update on that this morning. All right, so we'll start there, and then we'll move on. If you want to share your thoughts along the way, 513-873-7134. All right, I am available to hear your thoughts. But first, let me play this video for you. This is in the Friends page. You can check it out for yourself. And you can see the Trick Daddy he posted this back on June 5th, and then somebody else and other people are posting it. The title reads, "You don't pay no bills in here. You need to leave." So the stepfather wants the stepson out the house because he ain't contributing. Anybody in a stepdad situation, stepfather, stepmom situation? Listen, that's tough. Now, it's early in the morning. There is extreme language in this video. I want to give you a heads up. There is some extreme language, so I'm giving you a heads up so you can do your due diligence. All right. I will talk about the January 6th insurrection and give you some of the highlights, because maybe you don't have time to watch it. And it's very interesting, the response from the Republican Party, the party of patriotism. Very interesting. But we'll talk about that in a second. But first, I want to play this for you. You tell me who is right and who is wrong. What would you do? Check this out.
I'm going to see if you going to tell him. He's coming in right now. I let him know what's because he ain't going nowhere. That's my son. That's my only son.
At some point, he got to go.
Never no time.
I mean, at some point, he
Never
got
no time. Never no time.
Well, tell him, Christian.
No, you tell him. He's talking about you grown and you got to go somewhere. I told him, you only son, you ain't going no damn way. You go when you get ready.
Man, I just feel at some point you need to make your own way. That's what I be wanting to walk through the house naked sometime, and there you go. So, I mean, what?
No, if anything, you can.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes a man just want to walk through his house naked. Like Ving Rhames in Baby Boy. Remember that? Remember that scene in Baby Boy when he went downstairs to get some, I guess it was the morning, get some breakfast. And Ving Rhames was butt naked making some sausage and eggs for his mama.
Go, not him. How about that?
I want to pay all the fucking bills in here.
Ready.
Man, I just feel at some point you need to make your own way. That's what I be wanting to walk through the house naked sometime, and there you go. So, I mean, what?
No, if anything, you can go, not him. How about that?
I want to pay all the fucking bills in here. How you gonna tell me where I can go?
But the thing is, like, why do I gotta, this is my mama's house, like, why do I gotta leave my mama's house?
Period.
Man, you damn near 40 years old. Damn near it's time to go. I mean, at what point?
I'm 29, I'm not damn near 40.
Well, that's pretty 10
But
years
you know
away.
what? When I met you, you was living with your mama.
Man, please.
You
I
was
was
living
in
with
and
your-
out. Come
you
on,
was
man.
living with your mama.
I
Now
was
you
only
gonna tell
22
me.
years old.
Now you gonna tell me
Get out
because
of here.
he
No, I ain't
29.
gonna lie, but I ain't getting up. I'm not getting up. I'm
Man,
not
he
going
has to
nowhere.
go.
I'm not going nowhere.
He
This is
has
my
to
mama's
go.
house.
Well,
And you ain't.
He said, I'm not. Now, you see how sis tried to pull his car? It's like, when I met you, you was living at your mama's house. She ain't had to do that. That's irrelevant. That's not the point. I mean, I don't have to go any further. And I can already detect some issues. I want to give you some tips myself, but let's roll this a little bit more. Rotate.
ain't got gotta go nowhere.
You know what? Damn it, I ain't gonna pay no bills either. Then, damn it. Now, how you feel about that? You don't want him to go? I won't pay the bills.
No, you gonna continue to pay the bills.
He got to go though, man. It's too much. See, we arguing and stuff about stuff.
Because, you know, at the end of the day, all y'all do is tell me to help. Y'all ain't saying nothing. It's like,
man, you a grown ass man. You supposed to know man, garbage overfill. You supposed to know to take that outside. Come on, man. I don't have to tell you all this stuff, man.
But the thing is, I'm barely here, so I'm barely making garbage. So why I gotta take the garbage out if I'm barely here? If I'm barely here, barely making garbage, barely making dishes, like why I gotta do anything?
Well, she gonna always make excuses for you, man. But
right, he don't even be here. So what is you talking about? He don't be here like that. He come here, he sleep, and then he on business the rest of the day.
When he's here, he needs to help out. He needs to do some things. He
Well,
needs
I
to
tell
be
you what,
productive.
he ain't paying no bills,
damn it,
and
he
he
gonna
ain't
start
gotta go.
paying some bills around
I ain't paying.
But
I
I
gotta pay.
I'd rather for him to
My
get the
mama,
fuck out.
but listen, my mama said I gotta pay no bills. I ain't paying no bills.
He gotta pay. What I want him to do is save his money and do what he needs to do with his money,
the whole reason
and
why
not
he is
pay
the way
no
he is,
bills.
because all this soft shit you bring into him, he still got the titty in the mouth. You let him.
He still got the titty in his mouth. You know what? Hey, yo, I feel bro. I feel him. But I also feel mom. It seems to me like they should have had a conversation. That's why that stepfather, stepmom shit is so hard to deal with, because I don't know. In every relationship, and everybody's different, but I kind of feel like you'll get into a situation like this. And let's just keep it with the gender dynamics here. So as a man, you start dealing with a woman that's got a child. That's not your child, but you bring them in, you're gonna be a father figure. But when shit hit the fan and y'all have a disagreement, she gonna throw it in your face that that's my baby. But when it ain't a disagreement, we gonna act like it's our kid. Hey, yo, check it. I just feel like when a man and a woman get together, that's their house. That ain't my mama's house. That's my mama and my stepdaddy's house. You know what I'm saying? But it sounds to me like they should have had a conversation way before that. It's like, you know, let's say you get with somebody and a kid. Let's say you get with a woman and you love her and everything. Y'all gonna be together and all this kind of stuff. She got kids by somebody else. Dude's not in the picture, so you the male figure. To me, y'all got to have a conversation. Let's say the boy is 12. Y'all got to have a conversation about what the future means. Like, what happens when he get 30? What's your expectation for your son in this household that we live in together? Do you expect for me to be okay with your kid to live with us until they're 40, until they're 29? The other thing about that, though, is that the world done changed. Like, it's hard to get out here and find a place and get on your feet and all that kind of shit. And there's very few parents that's gonna kick their kids straight out. That the other thing about that is there's a big difference between boys and girls. Girls be ready to go. Like medium Buddha is ready to go right now. Boys, these motherfucking lazy motherfuckers will lay around on the tit forever. As long as mama says so. You gotta kick them out in some cases. Because they want to leave when it's perfect. There is no perfect situation. You got to get out here and just hustle. Yeah, you're going to struggle. That's a tough situation right there. I can see that destroying in a relationship. Brian writes, I moved out at 18. Really? TNT writes, he's a grown-ass lazy man. That ain't no baby. Yeah, he 29. 29. And I don't really see what the disagreement is, because he's 29. With a 9, a year away from 30, which is grown. Then secondly, they all admit that he's barely there. So if you're barely there, it shouldn't be that hard for you to not be there at all. The third thing about that is not your mama's house. That's your mama and your stepdaddy's house. It is not just your mama's house. That's your mama and your stepdaddy's house, period. You know what I'm saying? My mama said, my mama said, it don't matter what your, it's about what this is our home. It ain't just your house. This is our house. Have you seen this video? There's a if you go to the Friends page, Friends who like the Nathan Ivey Show page, you can check it out there. But I also post a link and you can check it out for yourself. You may have already seen this. Who is right and who is wrong? That's all I need to know. Now, I'm not gonna say May is like he gotta go, period. I agree with you on some levels. Like, children are always gonna have access to their family's home. Like, my kids will always be able to come back to the house and spend the night, but it's our fucking house. But I tell my kids that now. I gotta remind these, like, this is our house. All this shit is ours. We letting you live here because you live with us. None of this shit is yours. None of it. That's my computer. That's my bed. It's my sheets. That's my Wi-Fi. That's me and your mama's. This is ours. You better be grateful. And I would do the same thing if I was like a stepdad. I wouldn't treat the kid any different. I'd treat him the same way if he was my biological child. And this is how it goes. You got to go. Negro, I don't want to live with you forever. Love you. Bye. See you later. Yeah, come over every once in a while, and you ain't got no damn key. You don't have a key. No. And give us a heads up. Don't just be popping over here. How I look like? It's you stand on you listen, baby bird. You better flap them wings. But that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I would feel that way whether it's a stepdad, step-sit kid, or biological kid. There's a limit to this. Get your shit together. And if you don't, you're going to be struggling out here because you ain't going to be living here. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, talk show host. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, caller.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's the same Rothstein. First time, long time. I just want to say there's two different. First of all, I'm wondering is this a joke? Because when you listen to it without the video, when you listen to it, you hear the guy and the stepfather guy, and he just don't sound believable. He just don't sound believable as a person at all, of a person of authority, his mother's husband at all. And then when you look at the video, he's wearing a ball cap, hat tilted, looking like a young dude. Like, you ain't about to get no. That guy ain't gonna respect you because you trying to dress like him. What have we been talking about for years about these old niggas dressing like young dudes? Have we not talked about that on this show before, Nathan? Yes or no?
We have.
Exactly. This guy ain't gonna respect you. So now you putting imagery in the guy's head. He don't like you as it is. It's like now he just told you, I ain't going nowhere. If you were serious about the house, you would have cracked him.
What'd you say?
Like, you getting up out of my house, huh?
You would have cracked him. You mean like hit him?
Yeah. He just told you he ain't going nowhere. He don't respect you.
Man, the man's at home. That's leisure wear. He might have got off a long
I don't
shift.
care. And you trying to tell me I gotta leave my mama's house and you wearing a ball cap?
So
you sound like somebody I would have just balled with.
So what do you think he should have on? Like a sweater? He should be dressed like Cliff Huxtable?
I just think he should be more credible.
Man, that's
he
how
doesn't
black
sound
men.
credible to
that's
me.
how some black men chill at home. He got a little muscle shirt on,
and that's the problem. Too much leisure wear.
He's at home. Niggas. What are you fucking talking
who
about?
cares?
He's at home.
He at home. Okay. The lady told you he's about to walk in the door now and go talk to him. Go switch it up a little bit. So you want that type of authority in your house? Carry it. He ain't about to respect you, dude. What would he respect him for? I'm sitting there. That's what I said. He didn't sound credible. Something didn't sound right. And then when I seen him wearing, what was that, a Spurs hat or whatever it was, gray or whatever, I'm looking like, this dude look like a sucker. And like you said, this sounds like something that they didn't just get married. So in Son didn't just get fucked up. This has been going on. That's what made me think it was a joke. Like, did you not know that before you married her? That she had an adult son living with her? Like, something doesn't seem right about the whole thing. It seems like a joke. Something doesn't seem right about it. And then, like I said, this guy, if the son is 29, that means the mom's around, let's say at the youngest 49, right around 50. She would have had a 20-year-old, had a kid when she was 20. You see what I'm saying? So, so stepdad, new husband, or whatever he is, he should be somewhere around the age, you would think, unless he's a young punk. Like she said, you was living with your mama. Something doesn't seem right about this. This shit ain't even real. The more and more I think about it, like, this is a joke. These are just bad actors.
All right.
Thinking they're doing a comedy skit. But it is what it is. Hey, man, got to get up. Hey, the other day I gave you all some winning information on the not Steph Curry. What's the light-skinned boy name? Klay Thompson. Yeah, I gave you all winning information on that. I hope you used it. I'm going to give you some more today. Jason Tatum, 7 rebounds. For the Celtics to win this series, he's got to do a little extra. Him and Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum usually averages about 5 or 6. To win the series, he's got to average about 6 or 7, a couple more points, and maybe an assist or 2 more a game. He'll get you, 6 rebounds? Where is it at? I wrote it down. Pardon me. Yeah, it's Tatum, 7 rebounds. He'll get you 7 rebounds tonight in a win. Y'all be well. It's been real. Holla.
Appreciate the call, man. So he's saying that because the brother is dressed the way he's dressed with leisure wear, that he's not invoking respect from anybody. So he's to blame for that. But the man's at home. What's he supposed to be? Okay, we're gonna have a conversation. So let me go put a 3-piece suit on. Let me put on a shirt and tie. Let me put on a cardigan sweater. I mean, that's how a lot of dudes chill at home. I don't know. He might just get off work. He might be going to work out. I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know. I think it's a little unfair, but he says it might be fake and you never know. Let's watch more and see if we can pick up on what he said.
He ain't paying no bills.
Well, damn it,
he
gonna start
go.
paying some bills around
I ain't paying.
But
I gotta pay.
I'd rather want to
My
get the
mama,
fuck out.
but listen, my mama said I gotta pay no bills. I ain't paying no bills.
He gotta pay. What I want him to do is save his money and do what he needs to do with his money.
You the whole reason why
and
he
not
is
pay
the way
no
he is,
bills.
because all this soft shit you bring to him, he still got the titty in the mouth. You let
Oh,
him
hell
stuff
no. No, you know what I know? You jealous. You jealous of my son.
You would say
You
that.
jealous of my son.
Only you would say some bull
But
crap.
I don't know
like
if you jealous or not, but I just know I ain't getting on my mama's house. Like, if I gotta get on my mama's house, you gotta put me on my mama's house at the end of the day.
Well, damn it, I'm gonna be carrying you out. You got to go.
Oh, you don't need to work to carry his mouth out then if that's
Ain't
the
got no
case.
problem with carrying them out. I just shoot them on out. And you,
Michael, now you know good and damn well I'm not kicking my son out.
I ain't going
what point are you expecting?
At the end of the day, I ain't worried about it. Like, at the end of the day, I'm here. I live here, so until I'm ready to get out, I'm gonna be here. So it don't
At
matter.
what point is you trying to?
Until I'm ready to get out, I'm gonna be here. That's what he said. That's a bad situation right there. That's gonna end badly. You know what I'm saying? Is she disrespecting this man? Until I'm ready to get out, I'm gonna be here. Is that how that works? Maybe so. Maybe so. What was your parents' plan? I don't know. Everybody's different. I mean, times is tough right now. Gas is fucking expensive. Shit. College graduates can't afford to move out in some cases. You know, if you're a parent, you want to be sensitive to that. You don't want your kid to get out there and then have to come back and then leave again and have to come back. You want to make sure they got the fundamentals and the blocks they need, the financial things that they got and need in place so they can actually be successful and be self-sustainable. But Sonny over there like, look, my mama said I ain't got to go. I ain't going nowhere. That's a tough situation right there. That's a tough situation. What do you think? Good morning to you. Dale writes, he's barely there. Equal he living off women, but still at home. The mama's enabling her son. Ultimately, she is retarding his progress and from becoming a man. TNC says, yeah, this sound fake. Could be. Jesse writes, seems staged. Could be. Crystal writes, ooh, can you play again? Let me play it from the top. Let me play it one more time. I'll play it one more time, but we got a call coming in. Let's take the call. You know what? Hold on 1 second, because you might take us in a different direction. I want to stay here for just a minute. So, caller, if you can sit tight for me for a couple minutes, then I'll come straight to you. All right. Let me play the rest of it, then we'll circle back.
What's my plan is to stay in here as long as I need to stay in here. That's my plan.
What if he 45, 50?
And he gonna be 45, 50 up in here.
Crazy as hell. Well, damn it, I'm gonna be out there.
Bye.
No,
Bye.
He's going
Get the
before
step
me.
in. Get the step in.
He's
Because
going.
this is my only son. He ain't going nowhere.
That's what's
My only son, shit.
You the one made him like this because your weak ass.
You know what?
Made him.
Come and go. Your son is forever.
Man, I see what I'm saying.
She said, nigwas come and go, but your son is forever. I understand that, but I don't understand at the same time. He said he can be there till he 45, 50. My son ain't going to be with me until he 45, 50 unless something happens and we got to take care of him. And that's my biological son. It ain't happening. Because at some point, you're hurting them more than you're helping them. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you hurting them more than you helping them. Just like making everything so easy. You hurting them. Life is hard. Life is a struggle. Sometimes you might have to eat ramen noodles. You can't afford to have cable. You can't afford to have Netflix because you're building. The struggle is what makes you tough. That's what makes you tough. And you make everything so easy and they can do whatever they want to do forever. They ain't gonna never grow up. Mom, you can be here until you 45, 50. Where? That to me is a subtle form of abuse. Can't be that easy. No, there's a limit to this. Gosh darn it. Like being a parent and all the sacrifices you make, that shit is hard. That's an incredible sacrifice. I think I read that to raise a child from the cradle to 18 costs on average about $250,000 per child. That's just to 18. Now, with my own children, I don't have a cutoff date. Like when you get 18, you got to go because I just know how the world is. I want to make sure that, you're self-sustainable. But if my son or daughter are able-bodied, unless we got like a compound like the Will Smith family and we got a compound and everybody got their own villa, that's different. You got your villa, we got our villa. We live on a compound. But in the same home, same kitchen, that's abuse, isn't it? In nature, sometimes, mama bird got to push the baby bird out the nest in order to make it flap its wings and fly. It's sink or swim out here. That's extreme right there. And then I hear what you're saying, Fang. When I read the first time and looking at it, some of this stuff is like, I can't believe he's that calm with her talking that talk to him. Talking, as you would say, slick and greasy. She talking real slick and greasy. Well, bye. Niggas come and go. But my first son, that's for my first son. It's some mothers like that. But let me finish this.
Man,
I see what I'm saying. That's
right. And like I said,
you made him this way. You made him this way.
I ain't make him this way.
This is a product of your.
I ain't making this way.
This
like
is a
I
product
said,
of
it
your
ain't like
bad
he don't.
decision. Your bad choice.
It ain't like he don't know how to get out here. Like I said, when he ready to go, he can go.
Well, like she said, when he ready to go, he can go. What do you think? What do you think? Brian writes, the situation conversation would have went a little different. He was a little submissive as a stepdad, no issue with apparel. Well, maybe he's just an even keel guy. Now, everybody just don't pop off like that. I know we tend to believe that black men are just always super aggressive and super angry. Maybe he's just an even keel, just, mild manner type of dude. And even though she talking whatever, I thought she got a little slick and greasy with it. He still, can contain his emotions. That's a good thing. Dale writes, he's not credible because he's wearing a ball cap, right? Eric writes, he sounds like Monique. Tabitha writes, that example was toxic. Regina writes, what the hell? He's at home. Stop. Right. May writes, I hope he ain't wearing a suit and tie sitting in the kitchen. Who wears a suit and tie unless you just left work or left an engagement and that's just how you dress for the day? But most people, they come home, let's say you dress that way and you take it off and you wear your leisure wear at home. You're at home. Felase writes, he probably scared of the stepson. He was like, you tell him. Crystal writes, well, I missed the video. I'll play it again. So there's a grown man living at home with mommy. Okay, I get it. Felase writes, black people always throw the kids out. Mexicans live together and they be doing so good at it. Be 4 families in one house. Jenny writes, I agree with Fame Rothstein. When I tuned in, I thought it was a comedy skit. Brian writes, GSW. Yeah, should be a good game tonight. May writes, and that's when he would have been between the fridge and the stove. Tanika writes, the way they're talking to each other seems like their problems are bigger than this situation. I would agree. Clarence writes, if you, my son, you're not going to tell me when you're going to leave my house, I'm going to tell you exactamundo. What's up, Antonio? Crystal writes, oh, hell nah. That lady is still babying him. Her boyfriend should just pack up and leave, right? TNT writes, I would leave her with her grown man child. Let's go to the phones. Her grown man child. That's hilarious. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What up, Nate? Great topic. I swear this reminds me of the movie Baby Boy and Melvin cooking eggs and bacon butt naked. But Nate, it's clear. Well, first of all, shout out to Fame Rothstein. It's clear, Nate, this is proof of a strong black woman because it's obvious that's her house. And Melvin, sitting at the table in his baseball cap, is living with her. So Melvin needs to get his old ass up and get his own crib until mama and baby boy can work their issues out. Because again, Nate, when I saw it, when I first tuned in, I thought it was a skit as well. So, but anyway, I just wanted to throw that out. I heard another comment said that homeboy, he should get his own place if he got a problem with his woman in her house, letting her son stay there. It don't matter how old he is. And like homeboy said, like baby boy said, he just be in and out. He probably laying up with his girlfriends, and in between chicks, he come to the crib, wash his clothes or get something to eat or whatever, and he out. And that's the problem that Melvin got, is because homeboy be dipping in and out. Because I think I heard him say, Melvin said that he could be walking around butt naked or something. So again, Nate, I just want to throw that little twist in there that from the movie Baby Boy, Melvin had his shit going on. He was just spending the night that night, and Baby Boy came in and saw that visual, and he thought he was on the way out. So again, Nate, good topic. I'm not even going to bring up yesterday's circus because I heard you mention that I might take the show in a different direction, but I'm not, because this is a good topic. It's going to get all kind of comments and people calling in because, again, my take, I'm old school, Nate. I'm agreeing with a lot of shit that you're saying, but I say Melvin needs to just get the hell up out of there if he got a problem, because homegirl sound like she ain't giving one way or the other. So that's my take, Nate. I appreciate it, and have a nice day.
You too, brother. Appreciate you. Not surprised you want to talk about that January 6th committee, because the guy you voted for twice is a criminal. He incited an armed insurrection against the country that everybody claims they care about so much. So I ain't surprised you dodged that one. But back to this though. That's my brother Drop right there. It's my little bro Drop. Let me play it from the beginning a little bit. I won't play the whole thing. And look at the brother right there. I don't think that's how brothers dress. He got a little cap on, a little muscle short. As he chilling, he at home. I mean, who you dressing up for? You know what I'm saying? He not on the gram. He just at home chilling. There's nothing wrong. He's not losing authority because he has a hat on. You talking about dressing like young people. That's not dressing like young people. If that man right there, let's say that man is 50. That's the way his generation dressed. That's the way they dress. Depends on your environment, your culture. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with the way that he's dressed. And it's really more about the way he carry himself every single day, the kind of man he is in and out of different situations. That's what's going to determine how much respect he gets.
Now. I let him know what's up. He ain't going nowhere. That's my son. That's my only son.
At some point, he got to go.
Never no time.
I mean, at some point, he
never no time. Never no time.
Never no time? That's a long. Never no time? That sounds like forever. Again, to me, it sounds like this is a conversation they should have had before they decided to couple up. Why Drop call him Melvin? I believe that was Ving Rhames' name, the character that Ving Rhames played in Baby Boy. Melvin. But here's the thing to men, that when you get in these kind of interactions, you got to be willing to take that next step. You know, she telling you, nah, you got to go. Well, then you got to go. Get your shit and go then. If that's how she really feel. Because what else? It sounds to me like they may have a disagreement about this. They may have a disagreement about this. But it sounds to me like they probably get along. You know, because Melvin, I'm gonna use that name. It's your fault. You started it, Drop. Because Melvin seems even kill. He ain't, you can tell this is an issue for him, but he ain't ready to get nasty with his wife or with his woman or his girlfriend or whatever their situation might be. You know what I'm saying?
Tell him, Christian.
No, you tell him. We're talking about you grown and you gotta go somewhere. I told him, you understand, you ain't going no damn way. You go when you get ready.
Man, I just feel at some point you need to make your own way. That's what I be wanting to walk through the house naked sometime, and there you go. So I mean, what?
No, if anything, you can go.
I mean, from a man's perspective, that's understandable. Y'all understand that, right, ladies? And you get with this man, and he just want to be with you. Everybody grown. I can understand that. Maybe then that seems like it should be a conversation you have beforehand. Maybe he's not articulating it right. Antonio writes, that's definitely going to end in violence. Antonio, it doesn't have to end in violence. Eric writes, wife choosing her son over her husband is a problem for me. Shaba writes, stepdad is soft. I would have been Ving Rhames from baby boy mode. To do what exactly? Brent writes, come on now, Nathan. Now, you know that joker ain't no college graduate. Who ain't no college? You talking about Melvin? I don't know if he was a college graduate or not. I'm not going to assume anything. I don't know. Sheila writes, good morning. Good morning to you. Shauna writes, it may be staged, but this happens in real life. It's definitely a conversation piece, right? It may be staged. It makes no matter to me. The issues involved are relevant to everyday life. I think that the only reason people saying it's staged is because Melvin is so cool about it. He's so cool about it. I mean, she says some slick and super greasy shit to him, and he's still cool about it. And I think a lot of people would expect that if this was a real life situation, which I'm assuming it is at this point. It's just the brother's just so chill. You know what I'm saying? He ain't super loud. He ain't cursing. And so people are like, oh, well, If that was me, I would go all the way there with it. I think that's what it is. I think anyway. But what do you think? Who is right and who is wrong? I think it's clear. Who is right and who is wrong? I think it's clear. I think it's quite clear. Ladies, who is right and who is wrong? I want to get your thoughts. But let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Nate?
What up? What up, Daryl?
Hey, yeah, I don't know if it's real. I mean, the more and more I see it, it could be staged. Because I'm like, why is somebody, why they got it on video? I just wonder.
Right.
You got to question that from the beginning.
Right.
So, so it probably it could be staged. But what I will say is that if now are they married?
I don't see a ring on his finger.
Is that definitive or
I don't know. I don't see a ring on his finger, but not everybody wears a wedding band, even if they're married, or he could have took it off or something like that.
Okay, so we're assuming something. Okay, so if they're married, well, even if they're okay, let me go with if he's a boyfriend. If he's a boyfriend and he's staying there and paying the bills, and then our son is there, I mean, he don't have no right to really say anything. I mean, he can make his comments, but in that sense, the stepmother is right. However, like I said in the chat, ultimately she's hurting her. I mean, the son may not look at it, she may not look at it this way, but ultimately she's hurting her son. I mean,
right.
She's ultimately hurting the end product of him becoming a man.
Right.
So, I mean, that's how I look at that. Now, if they're married and this is real, then I'm looking at it like you might have a case where this is an independent woman that is probably the breadwinner, meaning they both working, but she makes more money than the stepfather, and the stepfather moved into her house when they got together.
Right. I follow you. I follow you.
Yeah. So she's gonna have this could happen. I mean, it's almost like you moved into my house. We're together, but I mean, you can look at it like this is our house, but in the back of your mind, the dynamics always seem to play like this is my house, and my son was here before we got together, if you know what I'm saying. Like it's almost like you married into this, and this is the package, and you knew I had a grown adult son living at this house, so he's part of the package.
Right.
And I'm not going to make him leave because we got married. You knew the situation when we got married. So, I see both sides, but ultimately, where I come down on this, if he's 29 years old,
right?
The mom, I mean, without even the stepdad being in the picture, the stepdad shouldn't even have to say anything other than the fact that if he, and when I say he, the son, disrespected his mother, then that's when the stepdad should step in and say, hey, you don't talk to my wife like that. But other than that, it's up to the mother, because that was a pre-existing relationship, to say something to her son like, it's time to go. And she's like, well, he don't have to go, this, that, and the other. She's making her own problems if they're married. But if it's a boyfriend situation, then, that's just, they shacking up, and And really, he can't really say anything. I mean, either way, even if they were married, he can't. It's kind of awkward. I mean, he could say something, and that's her house, and he's paying the bills. I guess he has some rights there, but like I said, if he married into that situation and he knew it, what can he say? Like, no, you got to kick your son out. I'm here. Really? I mean, you see what I'm saying?
I'll follow you. It all makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, that's but I'm thinking it's staged because I've seen that situation real time, and it don't go down like that. that conversation is heated. It gets a little heated, and there's some intense feelings there. That was just a little too calm. But maybe things are different now. I don't know. I'm old school, so
I feel that too. Like I'm picking up on that. A great analysis, great breakdown. I agree with everything you said. But part of the reason why I think that that makes me feel like it's authentic is the response from the son. His response seems very genuine. And like I said, every household is different. Some people would blow all the way up and be cussing and N-word this, N-word this, and you better I'm walking out. Maybe they just not like that. They seem like that ain't that kind of people. Like the mom, she a little on the edge, but it seemed like stepdad he's just a chill guy.
Right. And then in the back of his mind, he's like, she on, because when you look at the deed, like who's on the deed of the house, you said the other day, Nate, marriage is a business.
It is.
You said that right. So whose name is on the deed? The mother. So the dad is probably thinking like, I'm with this lady, I married her, her son's here. I knew that in the beginning. Her name's on the deed. So he might be like, I want to say and do this, but it's limited because this is really her crib. And and she's siding with her son, the opposite of baby boy, since Drop brought that up, then then he has to take he has to fall back.
Right. That's what we're picking up on. Right. Because mom does seem like she's speaking with authority.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He has to fall back. So what are you gonna say other than, well, he said his words and he's like, well, you got to get off the tip. Sometimes you got to get out there and make it on your own, brother. So, it's kind of like the caterpillar butterfly. It's like when the caterpillar cocoons, it has to work its way when it's in the process of becoming a butterfly. It has to work its way out of the cocoon to build its strength for its wings so it can fly. So if you help it out of the cocoon or let it stay in there too long, it never fully develops. And that's all I'm saying. Ultimately, it's going to hurt the dude. He's going around, obviously, he said it. I'm hardly ever here. So, he's shacking up with other women and a woman or women. And I'm like, well, so how's that going to work? When are you, I don't know. I just think, so I'm looking at the son. I'm sitting there. I remember when I'm 29, 30 years old, I'm like, why would you want to be up under your mama anyway? I mean, if you working and stuff, I mean, you see what I'm saying? I mean, why would you want to be under that anyway? But, you got to live by her rules. What you gonna bring? Yeah, and then you look at it from the other side. You got to live by her rules. They're going to be looking at what you doing. It's A, B, C, and D, whatever you want to get into. And then you go out here, you're dating other people, and doing your thing. You're going to bring them to the house. That's not a good look. Not for most people his age. I'm going to let's go to my mom's house and chill.
And you 29. Right. You're right.
Right. All right, Nate. Take care.
Yeah, Daryl broke that down. Appreciate the flows. He broke that all the way down. Appreciate the call. Yeah, I agree with a lot of the way he broke that down. So are we looking at a simp that's trying to bunk up? Stepdad's a simp, and now he in his feelings. He trying to buck up, but he ain't got no authority. As I've said before, and I would say this to anybody, when you start moving in with people and living with people, what I would say to men is, and this goes for women too, don't ever, 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 ever live with somebody if your name ain't on the lease or the deed. Don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. Y'all might just, everything look good and everybody cool, but if your name ain't on there, when the shit hit the fan, then somebody's going to pull that card. You're going to be in full simp mode. You're not going to be able to be the man that you really are supposed to be. Don't do it. D-Kid writes, maybe her man don't pay any bills. Charles writes, Grand Risings, Nate and the Choppers, TGIF. I had such a good time trolling the Trump supporters during the hearings. They are big mad, and it's hilarious listening to them try to defend it. Oh, it is. If you didn't watch any of that hearing last night, there's a lot to it, but go back and check out like PBS and a lot of these. Go online and just Google highlights, clips, and watch it for yourself. And what's very clear is what we always knew. Is that Trump is a gosh darn liar. But Trump has been a liar his whole life. Trump has been lying about stuff his whole life. Trump is a habitual, pathological liar. He's always been a liar. He was a liar before. Trump lied about, remember, Trump was the grand poobah of birtherism. He knew damn well Barack Obama was a nationalized American citizen, but he whipped people in his country into a frenzy by making them think that somehow the government was in cahoots with Barack Obama. When has the government ever did no shit like that for a non-white man? Like, people was running around here really believing that Barack Obama was not a naturally born U.S. citizen. And Trump was telling all these lies. Why was he doing that? He was doing that because he was using people's fear and anxiety about replacement theory. The government's in cahoots with the blacks and the gays and the Jews and the transgenders. They're trying to take something away from the righteous man, woman, and child. And he used that, and it fucking worked in 2016. Again, I'm consistent. I try to tell people, I can see the writing on the wall. You never should have let this damn liar get into the White House in the first place. But they convinced not so bright people that he just like Hillary. He just like Hillary. Sure he is. Damn fools. Damn fools. Fell for that shit. She got hot sauce in her purse in the Breakfast Club. She's pandering. She's just like Trump. People believe this nonsense. I was beside myself when I heard this chatter. Even some folks, it was in the chop shop with this nonsense. I couldn't believe it. I thought people were too smart for that. Trump has been lying his whole gosh darn life. Born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and he squandered it. So yeah, now we know that his daughter Ivanka knew he was lying. Bill Barr, who was the leader of the Justice Department, knew he was lying. People on his staff knew he was lying. Everybody knew he was lying, that there was no evidence whatsoever that anybody stole any election going back to the election that gave us Joe Biden. Everybody knew it was a damn lie. Trump knew it was a damn lie. The people that ran his intelligence agencies told Trump it was a damn lie. He kept telling a lie because you got a lot of people out there that are struggling. They're looking for direction. They're looking for answers for their problems. And he took advantage of them. And it worked. The history books are filled with those kind of interactions. Filled with them. You got people out there that are struggling. They're full of anxiety. They want to live their best lives, and they're not. They're looking for somebody to blame, and Trump gave them somebody to blame. He whipped these racist mofos in some cases into a frenzy, and it culminated in what we saw with the January 6th insurrection. That was like the big highlight of last night, where they were proving to everybody that Trump was lying. He knew he was lying. Everybody around Trump knew he was lying. Everybody knew it. And people voted for this fool. I mean, yo, there's a limit for me. There's a limit on some of the shit that I'm willing to digest. And this is no way in the well. There's no way in the hell that I was gonna go get down with something like that. But it worked. Remember this? Let's see your birth certificate. And black people was out here like, yeah, I want to vote for this man. What? This man is using a birther strategy, a Southern racist strategy to get into the White House. And you gonna vote for this fool? Yeah, but what have the Democrats done for us in the last 20 years, they say? Oh, oh my God. Please, I don't want you to vote. I don't want you to vote ever again on any level because you're going to vote for some dumb shit. Trump was a narcissist, or I'm sorry, is a narcissist. He only cared about power. He only cared about himself. If that meant that he had to destroy the country so he could remain president, so he could run around, and I don't even know what the hell he was talking about most of the time, that it was worth it to him. Trump don't care about nobody but Trump. That's very well documented. And you had members of the Republican Party just got in line with him because he was the leader of the party. They felt like it benefited them. They looked at it like, well, shit, we didn't think he was going to be win presidency, so maybe he knows something. Hell, this might work. They're still doing it now. There's a lot of articles right now about what Fox News was talking about and these other conservative media outlets. They were talking about crime. Should we be talking about the unprecedented crime wave? They don't care about crime. They don't care about death. All they care about is what they can use to remain in power. I mean, think about the hypocrisy of it. You know, you had people running around talking about, we should be talking about crime. Instead, they're talking about January 6th. Well, you damn fool. There were crimes committed on January 6th. People lost their lives. That was a crime. They are talking about crime. Very, very sad. Very, 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 very sad situation. But that's the world we live in now. It's the world we live in. But let's go back to the phones. I'm glad to see that, Charles. Give them hell, bro. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Yo.
Hello, comrade. Are you there?
I'm here. Black Russia. Good morning.
Welcome. Thank you. What's up? You said give him hell. Man, I'm still trying to figure out what Donald Trump did, bro.
Huh?
What did Donald... I mean, I didn't watch last night. I was doing bigger and better shit. So I wasn't even interested in watching. I might see the highlights today or something like that. But I'm trying to figure out what did Donald Trump do on January 6th? What did he do?
You was trying to do big... But you voted for Trump, though.
I did.
So that's why
I voted for him in 16. I did. Hold on. I didn't vote for him in 20 though.
Yeah,
I voted for him in
but you
16,
voted for him
though.
for 16. So basically,
Yeah.
So basically, you're not really invested in covering the truth because it would make you look bad.
That's not true.
It would make you look bad.
See, there you go.
It would make you
there
look
you
bad
go.
and
Hold
make
on.
it would make you look bad and make your choice in 2016 look bad to know that you voted for a tyrannical, narcissistic, lying ass motherfucker, which is what you did.
Damn. Tell me how you really feel, comrade.
I did.
Look, I mean, I don't regret my vote in 2016. And even probably after last night, which I didn't watch, I wasn't interested. I probably vote, if you gave me Joe Biden and Donald Trump right now at 24, I'm voting for Donald Trump this time. I won't make the same mistake twice.
Well, fools rushing,
like,
but fools have been before.
Bruh, like this don't matter. What are the Democrats doing? Like, it's an election in November, and they litigating the past. Trump always get blasted for litigating the past. What about the Democrats?
Most of the times when you go to court, they're litigating
the
past. I mean, that's just how the world works. I mean, like when you get to the point where they do investigations and crimes, and you go to court, it's typically about some shit that happened in the past. So, come on, man.
Well, all right.
You had a sitting U.S. president that lied about the election being stolen.
It's a double standard. I'm just saying, let it go, y'all.
Nah,
Donald Trump is untouchable. Like Elliot Ness. You know what I'm saying?
Nah. You can't let those kind of things go, bro. You got to address it. You got to figure out what went wrong so you can try to prevent it from happening in the future. And then when they come to the black community, we get held accountable for our crimes. So then everybody else got to be held accountable for their crimes too. Then, period.
What crime did Donald Trump commit though? Specifically, what did he do? I mean, I get all the storming the Capitol, all them folks that did that stuff. They all got it coming. I get that. That makes sense to me. But trying to put this all on Donald Trump lap, I don't get that. That's what I'm missing. Somebody help me out with that. What did Trump do? Talk some shit?
I don't really think you care about that question. Because if you really cared, you would have watched last night. You don't care. That's just some shit for you to ask right now.
Negro, I went to go see Chris Rock, and he was B- at best. I wasn't really happy.
Was Chris Rock here in the city?
Chris Rock. What's that?
He was in the city last night?
Oh, typical Cincinnati. Hell yeah, he was here last night. He here tonight too.
I missed it. Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah.
How was it?
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
You said he was a B minus?
B minus, bro. Slightly better than average. He started off funny and then it went downhill. I wasn't satisfied, bro. Like with Chris Rock, I expected to be dying. And I was like, just he. I did a little bit of that. But starting off, he was strong though.
Did he talk about Will?
So he had the subliminals for Will. He had the subliminals for him.
Oh man,
the subliminals were funny.
So what was it? The subject matter or the punchlines? I mean, why was it weak?
It was the punchlines. Like it started off, he'll build you up, but then the punchline was like, I did that too many times, bro. The subliminals about Will. The subliminals about Will was the funniest. He said, I ain't talking about it till I get paid.
Right.
Like, that was funny. But after that, bro, like, I was like, Chris, you disappointed me, bro.
Sorry to hear that. I want to see Chris Rock do well.
It was, like I said, it started off strong. What's that? I'm sorry.
I said, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I want to see Chris Rock do well.
Yeah, he thought,
you're in and out.
But yeah, it was fun to go out though. Post COVID. But y'all, I'm just like, let this Donald Trump shit go, y'all. Y'all need to be worried about the midterms.
Oh no, it's all part of the midterms. It's all part of it. You're right. You had better things to do last night. You watching Chris Rock, man. But if you really care about some of these questions, then go on Google and look at it. Your questions will be answered. They can do it far more effectively than I can.
Nah, Conrad, I rely on you to give you the 411. I rely on your expertise. You know what I'm saying?
You got to educate yourself, brother, if you're really serious about it.
I mean, I'm really not.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. I knew you wasn't serious about it. You don't give a damn.
I mean, I'm like, I really don't give a damn.
I know you
like, don't. November's where I give a damn. I give a damn about votes moving. Like, all this, like, what did Donald Trump do? Like, he didn't do a damn thing. Blame all the white folks that stormed the Capitol. They all getting charged up. They all getting their time or getting probation or whatever, getting their marks or whatever like that. Like, okay, they getting handled. To try to put it like, well, let's get Donald Trump. This is a witch hunt for Donald Trump. It's a witch hunt. It's a witch hunt, bruh. Like, they ain't gonna get him. If he'd have did something, Barry Garland would have charged him by now.
I don't think it's fair to call it a witch hunt.
Why not? What?
Well, I mean, just think about what that means. Like, do you believe in witches? Do you believe there's really witches out here that like are conjuring up the power of evil to do magic and shit?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
I believe in that shit.
I don't.
I do believe
that's
that.
The essence of what a witch hunt means, is that you're labeling somebody a monster who didn't really do anything. In this case, Donald Trump actually did something. So it ain't really fair to call it a witch hunt. This is on some levels, politically motivated investigation, and on some levels, it's trying to ferret out the truth, which I think the American public is owed. We need to know what happened and who's responsible.
I agree with you on that. The American people do deserve to know what happened. The end game is this, though. Like you said, it's politically motivated. This is political motivation, but try to get people out. Like when they leaked the Supreme Court about Roe versus Wade, we're gonna get that any day now. People gonna be mad all over again. And then the timing of this is like wow, it's election year. Like this is politics. This is Democrats playing politics. And I mean, 90% of y'all voting Democrat anyway. So like they can say whatever they want, and y'all be like, damn right, you know. But the reality is this: Donald Trump still controlling the Republican Party. He ain't getting charged. He ain't going to jail. All right, let it go. Why don't y'all focus on the midterm? You know, concealed carry coming out on the 13th, but everybody about to be packing down on the 13th. Everybody packing. Y'all, why y'all think about Donald Trump? DeWine out here signing laws saying we can pack wherever we want, wherever we go.
We can walk and chew gum. We can have multiple issues that we deal with. I don't buy that. We got to focus on concealed and carry. Though. And then what are we supposed to focus on with concealed and carry? I mean, it's the law of the state now per Monday. So yeah, you got people out there that's trying to do what they can do, but this is also something that people should pay attention to as well. We can do multiple things at once. Anything else, brother? All right. Thank you for the call. I appreciate you. His connection was in and out. I'm not surprised when black people that voted for Trump try to make us believe that we shouldn't be focusing on all the evil and dumb shit that Trump did. I ain't surprised by that because it makes them look bad. It makes them look bad.
A new CRC shirt.
Oh man, I like that. It's a blue one. I know. It looks good on you. How could you not love that, man? It never surprises me. Just like when he said it's all policy, just like when Donald Trump was out here making it seem like, Barack Obama wasn't a U.S. citizen. That was all politics too, right? What you got in there, man? Let me see. Oh, I got this your lunch? I didn't think you needed lunch today. Oh, you got little snacks in there?
Yeah, my snacks. Yeah, that's mine.
You think she put enough in there for you?
Yeah.
I think so too.
My snack.
That's your snack. Okay. Got a little water bottle in there, man?
Yeah.
Cool. She took care of you, huh? All right, man. It's your blue shirt on, looking good. Kids these days. Yes, you do.
And I got blue pink.
Make sure you pay attention on that field trip. Okay?
Daddy, you know why we don't have to bring our lunch?
Why?
Because they're gonna let us have pizza and drinks.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get maybe Sprite.
You're gonna get a Sprite. Okay. Okay. You put enough snacks in there? You said, man, you think you put enough crackers in there for him, babe? Yeah. You put enough in there? I think you need just a little bit more. No, you can do lunch lady duties. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. You gotta go, bud. Put your shoes on. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. It's Kev on the cell.
What up, Kev? Good morning to you.
Man. All right, so first off on the lady and the man having a discussion. Everybody ain't lit up, man. Folks can be calm, you know what I'm saying? My man might just be like, look, you can say whatever you want to, but for real, at some point, the young fan got to go out there in the world. I'm not going to yell about it, but it's kind of got to happen. You can be calm and say things like that, man. You ain't got to be, and really even flying out the handle, yelling and screaming for what? You know what I mean? It might not be that important to him. It might be important enough for him to say, like, I want to walk around in my drawers, and if I can't at some point, I'm gonna go somewhere else so I can walk around in my drawers. That's it could be that way. Russia, man, I'm triggered because Russia is off the hook with this whole. It's amazing to me that Nate, you were there at the convention, right? Did you go to the RNC convention?
I went to the RNC convention in 2016. Yep, in Cleveland.
And they was yelling. They was yelling, "Lock her up" and all that, right?
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
Over some emails.
Lock her up was crazy.
Over some emails. But you rushed the Capitol, and you shouldn't. There should be no consequence for rushing the Capitol, bro.
Right.
How does that make sense, Nate? How does that make sense? Lock her up. I mean, whipped into a frenzy. Patties, lemmings, whipped into a frenzy over some emails, talking about some lock her up. She deserves to go to jail. Listen to him right now today. If you listen to Fox News or if you listen to the pundits, they right now they're like, well, you know, we need to go back because Russia actually started with Hillary. It had nothing to do with Trump. But the man goes on national television, man, because my eyes don't work. Apparently, I'm blind, Nate. I can't see. You know, so I did not see this man stand in front of an entire crowd of people and say, "We're going to march down there," and then he ain't go, old punk. Right? Some of this stuff ain't jokes, man. This is a dude that wants to lead the country where your daughter and my daughter are about to enter into adulthood. You know what I'm saying? Where our posterity really is about to have to take over the mess that fools want to leave them, man. It's sad. I think anybody coming on here talking silliness, when you see, I never saw. Now I follow this stuff pretty well, you know what I mean? But I've never seen in the past where Ivanka Trump came out and said that she agreed with Bill Barr. That's new information to me. I was listening down the dial yesterday, and the guy said he didn't hear anything new. I don't know where he heard Ivanka Trump say that from her own mouth, but I sure never saw that before. That's one thing I've never seen. And if we being honest, the other reason why this is where I get a little silly, but it's Friday, we're gonna let loose a little bit, bruh. Did she flip down on her dad though? Hey,
I'm here.
Did she flip down? Snitches get stitches, right? He gonna have to whoop up on his own daughter. Did she flip down on her own father? So if nothing else, you know, he raises snitches. Man, this whole thing is crazy, man. I can't understand. And then the last thing that cracks me up, and I'm gonna get off there, man. The last thing that cracks me up the most is, yeah, you know, I know exactly what they're gonna say, and Trump is absolutely telling the truth. That's why I'm not gonna listen. Wait, what? You never listen to the other side, and you think you know what they say? How does that work? Yeah, Biden, when he speaks like, you know, like he's got dementia. But you ain't never listened to a speech. You literally tell me you never listened to the speeches. And he sounds like he speaks with dementia. And look, time out for all the games. Russia made the most important point. He really did. Again, I don't know if you saw this. Oz won in Pennsylvania, right? And they said that the candidate from Pennsylvania, the Democratic candidate from Pennsylvania, may be a strong match for Oz. And Oz didn't get that much support. So PA is a Republican state. Flip that Democrat, that's one. Ohio is a Republican state. Flip that Democrat for Senate, right? Flip that Democrat, and there's our two, man. And then it doesn't matter what Manchin and Sinema say or do. That's enough right there. That's all you need. That's all you need. So make sure if you're from Ohio and you are in a district that's going to have Mr. Rob Portman's old seat up, that you show up at the polls and that you actually get people and take them down to the polls, and we get that 2 seats. Because if we get 2 seats, the 2 other people that are I forgot what they said. They're binos or whatever. No, dinos, right? Democrats in name only or whatever, right? The 2 dinos, Manchin and Sinema, they will get, you know, it won't matter what they do. They won't be able to hold anybody hostage. And then we can get some of the agenda passed. Free healthcare and free tuition reimbursement for me. I call it reimbursement because they should have paid me back a long time ago. Tuition reimbursement for me and health care and child care for everybody else. That's it, bro. That's all I got. Y'all fake Republican wannabe. Y'all ain't even conservatives at this point. You don't get to call yourself conservatives. You following a man that was a liberal his entire life and flat out said that if he ever ran for president, he would run as a Republican because they're the ones that he could get over on the easiest. I'm out, Nate. Be blessed. It's going to be a great day for a great day and a great week for a great week. Oh, one other thing. I'm out of the country next week, bro. Flying out, man. Dominica, the island my mom is from. Yep. Okay. I'm taking my mother and my daughter on a vacay. You hear me? I'm paying. That's how we do it. That's how we get in.
Enjoy yourself.
Absolutely, man. Be blessed. Stay safe.
Yeah, you too. We'll go ahead and rack them. All good calls this morning. Appreciate everybody. Going on a vacay. You make some excellent points. I mean, some quick takeaways. I mean, where would I direct you? I would direct you to NPR. It's not MSNBC, it's not CNN, it's not Fox, it's not Newsmax. Go to NPR, National Public Radio, public media. And they got multiple sources up about the revelations. So what were some of the highlights from the January 6th first night primetime meeting? Well, number one, you saw a video testimony of Ivanka Trump in which she said that William Barr, who was the U.S. Attorney General, head of the Justice Department, told her that there was no evidence whatsoever that anybody stole any elections in any state. Nothing that would rise to the level that would overturn anything. As we understand now, Trump had people all over the place. Oh, no. Trump had people all over the place in his administration trying to figure out whether there was some truth to this or not. There was no truth to it. There was no truth to it whatsoever. Why is that important? Because it sets up the context of just how pervasive and just how low down and dirty Trump really was in terms of just telling lies. But we already knew that because he told lies about Obama. I don't know if he's real. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he isn't, but show me your social security card. You know, all this kind of shit. And while to you and I, that just bounces off of our chest like, that's nothing there. To a lot of people out there who are afraid, looking at their paycheck, looking at their lifestyle, thinking, damn, where'd I go wrong? Trump gave them an enemy to focus on. It's forces in the U.S. government that's in cahoots to put the black guy in power over you and your family. Remember all that shit about how people were afraid that Obama was going to ban guns, as if Obama could ban guns anyway. And what happened? People went out there buying guns and ammunition and storing it up. And Obama's going to try to ban guns. It was a struggle to get health care that benefited people, let alone banning weapons. People believed it, though. There's video footage that I saw last night of U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr telling investigators on camera during his deposition that he went to President Trump and told him that it was bullshit. His words, bullshit, that there was no credibility whatsoever that anybody was stealing an election. What you're also going to see, if you look at some of the highlights, and again, I didn't see everything, but there was a lot of new body camera information and video footage from police. This goes to show you how police are nothing more than pawns as well. Because all these law and order, Republican, conservative types that love the police so much, where's the support of the Capitol Police? They were under siege. I mean, you got a chance to see just how angry, how bloodthirsty the mob really was, whipped into a frenzy by a sitting U.S. president. If Barack Obama had done that, he would have been impeached already. You got brothers from the hood, man, that for years and years and years, they was getting harassed because we smell marijuana in your car. Meanwhile, we just supposed to let that go and not talk about the fact that a sitting U.S. president tried to steal an election in front of us. I ain't with the business. I am not with the business. What also came out is that there were multiple Republican congressmen and women that sought presidential pardons for their roles in the coup attempt. So on one hand, they're saying it was no coup. This was just it wasn't peaceful, but it wasn't as bad as they said it was. Behind closed doors, They're trying to get at the Trump administration to get presidential pardons for their role. I say anybody that had any kind of substantial role in that should never be elected to any public office ever. If not, put their ass in jail, if possible. I mean, it just goes on and on and on about. They went on and on and on last night. They had video of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers on camera saying that the reason why they stormed the Capitol is because they believe that's what Trump wanted them to do. Why? Because that's what Trump was telling them. Remember back when he said, stand back and stand by? Apparently, remember when Trump said he was asked a question, it was during the debates. He was like, so what would you say to these groups out here, these extreme groups? He's like, well, to the Proud Boys, I would say stand back and stand by. Well, there's video testimony they showed last night. There's members of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. When they saw that, they were like, oh, shit. We got our orders from our leader. It's been documented that membership to the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and some of these extreme groups, it tripled right after that comment. But Trump didn't do anything wrong, though. Now, will it rise to the level of him being brought up on criminal charges? Like in a perfect world, but we don't live in a perfect world. He might be insulated, but this is the information that the public, if you spend years and years and years telling lies, then we should spend some time trying to set the record straight with the truth. You know what I'm saying? Doing the right thing still has to matter. Will it lead to Trump being brought up on charges? I hope. If they find out that he actually violated the law and where they can prove it, they need to go after his ass with the same intensity as they do people in our neighborhoods and shit when they get caught with these little minor infractions. Go after. I mean, it's law and order. It's the rules of the rules. The rules are the rules. So I just gave you kind of and there's even more. This new text that came out between Fox News host Sean Hannity, who is not a journalist. He's a television personality. This man literally was taking orders from the White House, talking about some yes, sir, in the text. So what do you want me to do? Like the night of the election, he's texting the White House like, hey, tell me what to talk about. And they say, hey, focus on these states, talk about this. He says, yes, sir. Who do you work for, Sean Hannity? Who do you work for? But people look at him like he's a credible source of information, but he has his own agenda. And it plays out. What else are you going to find? I mean, there was a whole bunch of stuff that I saw in the video, and then I read this morning in some of the highlights that they talked to a lot of campaign advisors in the Trump administration who all knew that Trump was going to lose and that there was no widespread voter fraud going on. They all knew it. But that's how the game is played. I mean, like I said, you got people who are not even in the White House. They just working regular jobs. And they see shit that goes wrong and they keep their mouth closed. What do you think somebody gonna do when you in a hostage situation like working in the White House? They gonna keep their mouth closed. Most humans are all about themselves. And they ain't gonna come forward and jeopardize their livelihood. That's how they put food on the table for their kids. They got a mortgage, husband, wife, bills. They're not going to jeopardize that to tell the truth. Where they do that at? That's rare. That is very, very, very. You got people that work in fast food. They see some wrong shit. They look the other way because they ain't trying to lose their job. Let alone you work in the White House, got a big old time job working for the Trump administration. Most people are not going to give that up. They ain't going to give that up for you or for the country or for the right thing. Most people don't do that shit. Most people are going to do what's best for them. And if they feel like what's best for them is to keep their mouth closed, they're going to keep their mouth closed. It's probably people in this audience. You didn't see some fuck shit happen on the job to somebody else. And in some cases, you ain't say a fucking word. You was like, my name is Bennett and I ain't in it. Because can you imagine you working for the Trump administration? Shit, some of them people, they've been working their whole professional careers to get in a situation like that. They're not going to give that up. and tell the truth. You ain't gonna do that, because what they'll say is, well, shit, all I'm gonna do is lose my job, and it's not gonna change anything, right? Isn't that the rationale? So that's, if you didn't see, any of the televised January 6th investigation, big old, they're gonna do more of it, I think, today and Monday. Could be wrong about that. Those are some of the highlights that were shown last night. You know what I'm saying? Big lies. Big lies. But we already knew that. Can you say exonerated 5? I wouldn't have voted for Trump just based upon that alone. And that's just one thing. This man telling lie. This man is calling for the head. He calling for the death penalty for these young brothers, and they didn't even do the damn crime. Never has had any remorse, never apologized. But Black Russia voted for him. I mean, class action discrimination lawsuits when it comes to housing, because, he was denying housing to minorities. Be just like Hillary, though, right? I'm not saying Hillary was a good candidate. Like I told you, I've said it before, but we got to cut through the noise and look at the facts. Now it's too late. It is what it is. Oh my gosh. Oh man, fun stuff, man. Funny. 513-873. I mean, listen, you got to laugh to keep from fucking crying. Nothing is funnier than the truth. Sister Iris writes, I turned on Fox News during the break of the hearing, and they were trying to push the lie, saying the hearing was only to keep Trump from running 2024. It was a gaggle of not so bright people on Fox, right? That shit is so pervasive that if you got a Republican that's running for any office, it is completely fair to ask them if they believe the big lie, because it says something about them. Is this somebody that's on some real shit, or is this somebody that's on some dumb shit? That's a fair question to ask anybody. You show me a Republican candidate running for city council, it's fair to ask them that question. Did you believe the big lie? Watch them squirm. Or they'll be real with you. But I tapped in. I didn't tap into Fox News during the telecast, but I looked at like what they posted this morning, and they were talking about anything under the sun other than that. Why? Because their job is propaganda, and it makes Donald Trump and the Republican Party look bad. And so anything that makes them look bad, they want to try to obscure from their audience. They want their audience to be dumb. And they want to spoon-fed you a whole bunch of bullshit. And I'm not with it. I'm not with it. Sean writes, many Trump supporters do not have the ability to critically think for themselves. I don't know if it's that, Sean. It appears that way. I don't know if it's that or not. Sometimes people can get so entrenched with their belief system that they can't hear or see anything else, right? And it in most cases is probably based upon some facts or some experiences they've had that they can call upon, that is based upon reality. And then they bump a whole bunch of fantasy on top of it, and it is what it is. TNT writes, Liz Cheney said it best. One day Trump will be long gone, but their dishonor will remain. Woo, that one for the history books. Absolutely. Absolutely. People say hang up on him. Good morning, everybody. Kamiki writes, what an idiot. Danietta writes, fool, yeah, that's not my line. That's a famous line. Fools rush in where fools have been before. Here's another one. Talk sense to a fool, and they'll call you foolish. I have found in my adult life that is absolutely true. I'm not calling the brother foolish. I'm just saying in general. Nakia writes, you made a mistake, then you continue in the future making mistakes. And that's why I say, like, when I hear people with this whole Blexit type shit, they try to make it seem like black voters are dumb. Black voters are not dumb. We just don't have a lot of good choices. Rock and hard place, right? So they try to make it seem like black folks vote Democrat because you want to play in the mental plantation and you just love the good white folks from the Democrat Party. It ain't that. It's just that the other side is even less palatable. It's even harder to stomach. That's what it comes down to. But they try to play it like y'all just dumb. You don't know better. These liberal universities. Taking things out of context. These liberal universities, a liberal university is not the same thing as being politically liberal at all, but they play upon people's like ignorance. These liberal universities teaching you the Democrat Party loves you. Whoever said that? It's just you caught between a not so good example, a choice, and fucking the worst choice ever. So you got to go with the not so good choice. It's the lesser of two evils. And for people who say, oh, I'm tired of hearing that. Why? It's the truth. Get out there and run and offer something for the people that would be a better choice. It is what it is. Black voters are not dumb. Black voters are not dumb. Black voters are very intelligent. Black voters understand that politics is chess, not checkers. Sometimes in chess, you're making a power move. Sometimes in chess, you're blocking the power move of your opponent. And that's the reality of voting. But they try to make it seem like we dumb and we don't know. Oh, they didn't pull the wool over your eyes. Nobody pulled the wool over our eyes. We see it very clearly. It's halfway decent and some mofos that don't give a damn about you. Right? It's the truth. It's the truth. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Nathan. It's Nicole. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Nicole. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a lot. You showed a damn pack of a whole lot. I don't know where it's been, but especially the I don't know. He was a little bit lax and chill, but that she's enabling her son, and at 29, that's really unacceptable. There was just like I had a slight understanding of just like for Black mamas and just the state of Black men and our fear that, you let them out there and they're either going to end up in jail or in the grave, and she seems to like have a hold on him and that type of fear, like the safest place he can be is at home. But at 29, that's not living for neither one of them. And then just with no responsibilities, no bills, don't have to do anything. Like, I don't know where they do that at. And if that man is helping pay the bills, you know what I'm saying? That disrespect, I would have been left, but that's neither here or there. I don't even know if that's real or not. But to the hearing last night, I don't know what Black Rush are talking about because it was so much laid out, and that was just kind of like a. And if that was a teaser, Lord have mercy. I mean, it's going to be 6 more hearings, at least 2 weeks of this, and I'm glad they stretching out, giving people, a day or two to kind of like digest what you just, took in. And it was powerful because they really didn't even have to talk that much. They just played the video. They let the people say for themselves. So, pieces from the depositions and of his daughter and the Attorney General Barr, the Secretary of Defense, just all from their own words saying that, they knew was a lie. And it Trump, despite knowing that, wanted to still be president and was going to do everything he was going to do to remain in that position, even inside a crowd to try to turn over the election, that's probably the most heinous thing he could have done, because the peaceful transition of power has remained all throughout this country's history. And the only one that has went against that is him. And the efforts that he took was so astronomical, where you literally have, his supporters rushing the Capitol. And the other main portion that they, really laid out is that everyone was telling him to end this. He refused to do it, and it was Pence. And even, when the Secretary of Defense was approached by the chief of staff, he was like, we got to make it seem like Vice President Pence is not in charge, that the president is in charge, even though he wasn't, making no directives to do anything. It was Pence saying, bring in the National Guard, do this, whatever. And so, that part right there is like he stepped away from his duty to his oath to protect this country first. Just and that, narcissism, selfishness that he had just so he could remain in power, and angry that Pence didn't stop the certification of the votes of the state. And it's allowed those people to ransack the Capitol and even put lives in danger. Police, people died. People were seriously injured. Yes, there's going to be ramifications for that. I mean, this is just a hint to, lay the case out to the people and for them to make whatever necessary changes so this doesn't happen again. But it's also the evidence being laid out on a silver platter for the Attorney General and also the Attorney Generals for the states, because not only once that didn't work, when he couldn't get his belly of supporters to, go in there and make those votes not be certified, then he, the Attorney General, he got him a pup, the Attorney General, if you remember that, and try to tell him it will tell Georgia to find so votes or that you discovered in your evidence, even though Attorney Barr has said there's nothing here that I can, turn over to say that you won. He told him flat out, got another Attorney General and had him write a letter to the states like, oh, well, you know what? We did find something. We need you to recount your votes and this and that, whatever. And it was a lie, and so they just laid it all out beautifully. And then just going back to the insurrection, it was so many people already resigning left and right, but people were ready to, invoke the Article 25 to remove him. They was afraid, with the instability of how he handled that situation, if they can even trust him with the nuclear codes. And so some people stayed because if he kept surrounding himself with puppets, it was just like they was in fear of the safety of this country. And that's a lot to be said, but this whole thing, like I said, after it's all said and done, I would be surprised if the Attorney General doesn't take this evidence. He's already, pressed charges on someone related to the insurrection, someone who's running for governor, because that was breaking news just yesterday. They're just trying to really lay it out for the people to see, and for the Attorney General to take this on, and everyone tying their name to Trump, right? It's going to be egg on their face because it's already embarrassing. The only thing they can do is deflect and not watch it, because to watch it would just be, and you had any part to play in it, which many did. You just you should hide under a rock. They should hide under a rock, and then to couple that cowardice to not do anything or hold him accountable when you had the opportunity just to, turn the other cheek or look the other way. And then you couple that to where we are right now with gun legislation. And you have these victims who have pleaded their hearts out and beg, and just the state of our country. I mean, we even have a Supreme Court justice being his life, Brett Kavanaugh, threatened by someone to kill him.
Yeah, I saw
you know
that.
what I mean? And the federal judge was found tied up in his house.
Yeah, I saw that.
And yeah, and for these politicians, these conservative Republican politicians, to be like, all we can do is a red flag law, maybe, and safety in schools, but they ain't specifying in detail what that is in mental health. But they don't really know, how to funnel the money or what in particular. It's just all the surface things where the nooks and crannies of what we need to do is just I don't even think it's on the table. And to have that type of slap in the face to these victims and just to the country that feels so unsafe right now, so unsafe, is just unforgivable, inexcusable. And yeah, I think it's just gonna play into votes. I would hope, you know what I mean. I hope people see who these people are and where they, place their values, because it's not with this country. They don't put country first. They put their party first. They put themselves first. And people like that does not deserve to be in a position of leadership. Not at all. We don't need a bunch of puppets that's just going to go and do what anybody say and have no mind of their own. And then only abide to special interest groups and the money. Like it got to be repercussions for this. So I hope people get energized for this November election. We got to get out and vote. We got to get energized and we got to get out there and vote, because all this madness only will continue if we sit back and do nothing. But you can call those senators right now, which is what we urged on our podcast the other day. Call those Republican senators now, 10 of them. It's a shame that 50 Republicans, and we need 10, but it should be more. You know what I'm saying? And that's the other thing. We don't put the pressure or accountability to the fact that so many of them refuse. Why? They all should be coming together on this. But the mere fact that you barely get 10, and then those 10, they're getting dwindled down. That's because the NRA and calling them and telling them, you better not touch this. You better not do this. They got everybody organized. Where are we? Are we calling? Have you called this week? Call those senators of them. Let them know where you stand. People are doing it across the country. If you haven't done it, you're not doing your part. You have to. So that's all I got, brother. Y'all have a great Friday. See y'all choppers.
All right. Thank you for the call. That's TNT. Appreciate the call. 513-873-7134. You got me for a little bit more, a few more minutes here. Then I got to make a move this morning. I got 3 OMG stories that you might have missed. So the first OMG story was a video that somebody posted in a friend's page, and I thought it could make an interesting conversation. Some people said they didn't feel like this was real or not, and I don't know. It's hard to tell. I'm going to say I believe it's real, and meaning that it's not staged. It's not a skit. A lot of people do that stuff these days, and it's fun. I have no problem with it, because if we find out later on that it isn't real, like it's staged, I still think there's relevant themes and issues that we can talk about. And in this particular video, you have a blended family. You got a stepfather situation, and he's upset because his stepson is still living in the house with him and his new girlfriend, wife, woman, whatever. Now, Daryl, I thought, broke it all the way down. He was looking at, his analysis was all the way on point. He looked at it from every angle, and I appreciate it. I thought it was thorough. And I think he was on point in a lot of ways. Now, does it make a difference if this man is married or is a boyfriend? I mean, yeah, but maybe not. It depends. It depends on the value system of the individuals. Like I told you before, you got people out there that just come to an agreement with another person, right? So you got men out there. I think it's totally possible for a man and a woman to come to an agreement without signing any papers or going through a traditional wedding. And they can be every bit as committed and is there for one another. And in some cases, even more committed than people that had big old weddings. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wedding don't really change who you are. I don't mean shit. If a man or a woman's going to cheat on you, they're going to cheat on you whether you had a big wedding and y'all got paperwork or not. And if a man or a woman's going to be faithful to you, that don't matter whether they have paperwork or not. It's all about them as an individual, right? Now, some people feel differently because they feel like, I'm taking this oath in front of God, and I understand that. But does that make a difference in this situation? So in this situation, the stepfather, Melvin, drop is wrong for that. He's talking to his, I'll say, woman, and I don't mean that in a possessive way, but I don't know, however the way, give me another way of putting it. And he's upset because her son, who was 29, is still living at home and ain't doing nothing. And he's trying to get her to get him to either move out or start contributing to the home. And she ain't with it. If you missed any of it, let me just play a little bit for you, and then I'll circle back around. So check this out.
I'm gonna see if you gonna tell him. He coming in right now.
I let him know what's
and then
up.
when he ain't going nowhere. That's my son. That's my only son.
At some point, he got to go.
Never no time.
I mean, at some point, he
never no time.
Man,
never no time.
Well, tell him, Christian.
No, you tell him. You talking about you grown and you gotta go somewhere. I told him, you my only son. You ain't going no damn where. You go when you get ready.
Man, I just feel at some point you need to make your own way. That's what I be want to walk through the house naked sometime, and there you go. So I mean, what
No.
Yeah, like sometimes you want to walk through your house naked. Now, if I'm going to walk through the house naked, I'm going to walk through the house naked. I don't care who's there. You know what I'm saying? My mother-in-law can be living with us. If I decide I'm going to walk through the house naked, if you don't want to look, don't look. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to see what I'm rocking with, then don't look. Simple as that. And I mean that. Somewhere the wifey is cracking up because she know I mean that. When I'm at home, I'm at home. And I'm going to do, I'm going to be respectful. I ain't no disrespectful mofo. But if I want to walk through the house naked, sometimes you feel like that. Sometimes you just want to be naked. Ain't nothing wrong with that. He's like, look, sometimes I want to walk through the house naked and your 29-year-old son is here looking at me. I feel some kind of way about it. Listen, in principle, I get where the guy's coming from. I mean, it's something, get your own. You know what I'm saying? And at 29 years old, the fact that you ain't desperate to get your own is a problem. I think it was Daryl was like, man, you 29, you meet a woman, you want to chill with her, where you going to take her? Because you definitely want to take her to your mama's house. That's a bad look. That's a real bad look. Let me play more for you. Give me your thoughts. Who is right? Who is wrong? I think it's pretty obvious.
If anything, you can go, not him. How about that?
I want to pay all the fucking bills in here. You gonna tell me where I can go?
But it's like, why do I gotta, this is my mama's house. Like, why do I gotta leave my mama's house?
Period.
Man, you damn near 40 years old.
I think Daryl, he clocked this on point. Daryl was on point. It sounds like that was her home and he moved into it. So yeah, you paying all the bills, but your name ain't on the lease. FYI to men everywhere. Don't you ever, never, ever, ever, ever move into a dwelling with a woman and your name is not on the lease. Don't ever do that. Ever, ever, never. Because when everything's all good, and she looking at you, and you looking at him, and everybody's happy, it's post-coital, everybody hit a climax, we loving each other, you ain't got no problems. When you hit a disagreement, and it's a big disagreement, and she's saying one thing and you saying another thing, guess whose way ends up going? The person whose name's on the paper. Don't you ever, 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 never, ever, ever move into a dwelling with a woman and your name ain't on the paperwork. If your name ain't on the paperwork, you ain't ready to do it. Don't do it. You are setting yourself up to be a simp. You setting yourself to be a simp. You ain't gonna be able to be the man that you were supposed to be because you ain't got no say so. And that's what it sounds like here. It sounds like he paying the bills, but it's her spot. You know what I'm saying? Check this out.
Damn, it's to go. I mean, at what point?
I'm 29 now.
Well, that's pretty 10
But
years
you know
away.
what? When I met you, you was living with your mama.
Man, please.
You
I
was
was
living
in
with
and
your-
out. Come
you
on,
was
man.
living with your mama.
I
Now
was
you
only
gonna tell
22
me.
years old.
Now you gonna tell me
Get out
because
of here.
he
No, I ain't
29.
getting up. I ain't getting up. I'm not getting up. I'm
Man,
not
he
going
got to
nowhere.
go.
I'm not going nowhere.
He
This
has
is
to
my
go.
house.
Well,
And you ain't gotta go
You know
nowhere.
what? Damn it, I ain't gonna pay no bills either. Then, damn it. Now, how you feel about that? You don't want him to go? I won't pay the bills.
No,
But
you gonna continue to pay
he
the
got
bills.
to go though, man. It's too much. See, we arguing and stuff about stuff.
Because,
You know
but
what
at the
I'm
end of the
saying?
day, all you gotta do is tell me to help. Y'all ain't saying nothing. It's like,
Man, you a
so
grown
y'all ain't
ass
saying
man. You supposed to know the garbage overfill. You supposed to know to take that outside.
I'm not a big believer in that. I'm not a big believer in you supposed to know. You're supposed to tell people what your expectations are. Man, woman, child, elderly, handicapped, wife, husband. If you ain't saying nothing, all these assumptions and shit, I ain't thinking about what you thinking about. I ain't with that. So if you got I just don't like the way this was handled. You know what I'm saying? That should have been a conversation between the two of them, mom and dad. Y'all have your conversation first. Y'all come to some agreement, and then you present it to the children. That's just the way I look at it. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got no say so. His opinion don't matter. It's y'all opinion that matters. Y'all go argue behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? Y'all fix y'all face, get y'all ish together. Then you go out to the children, because at 29, he's still a child. He's their child, her child, and his stepchild. And you tell them what your expectation is going to be. You're not a part of the decision making. That's not how this work. So somebody might be like, well, Nate, you going to kick your son out when you get 29? Gosh darn, I would hope he'd already be fucking. I'm going to do everything I can to set the table so at 29, he just ain't with us. He got his own shit going on. I don't have to worry about my daughter because she's trying to leave now. She's 16 going on 17 later this month. She trying to leave now. She can't wait to get away. That's just how little girl that the women are. She can't wait to get her own spot so she can do what she want to do. You know what I'm saying? She can't wait. And I think that's a great thing about her motivation. Boys are different. Boys, you gotta kick them out you might have to kick them out the nest. Like, but what do you think? I don't even think I have to play. Well, I'll play just a little bit more for you, for folks who might just be tuning in. Check this out.
Come on, man. I don't have to tell you all this stuff, man.
But the thing is, I'm barely here, so I'm barely making garbage. So why I got to the garbage shop, I'm barely here. If I'm barely here, barely making garbage, barely making dishes, like, why I got to do anything?
Well, she gonna always make excuses for
what?
you, man.
Right, he don't
What
even
the
be
fuck
here,
you
so
mean barely?
What is you talking about?
Hey, yo, I try to use that argument with Greater Cincinnati Waterworks. I'm barely using water. What are these sewage fees? The sewage fees are double what I'm consuming in water. I still got to pay it. What you mean you barely? Ain't no either you are or you're not. I barely flush the toilet. I barely eat food. I only eat food just dinner 5 days a week. What the fuck is you talking about barely? See, that's a little kid mentality. In the grown world, either you're using it or you're not. That's like you go to your meter and you're like, I ain't gonna feed this meter because I'm barely gonna be here. You better put some dimes and quarters in that motherfucker quickly. I was only here for 20 minutes. I barely used it. It's 24 hours in a day. Sure. Yeah, I was barely going over the speed limit. I was only doing 45, speed limit's 35. That's barely my son. Child support. Barely. That's a little kid's mentality. Either you are or you're not. I'm barely producing trash. What the hell? Somebody said it and I agree with it. Like, you know, we all gonna protect our children. Ain't nobody gonna kick their kids straight out and you think they can't take care of themselves. But coddling and babying and all that, all you doing is delaying his maturation process. That's all you doing. Shit ain't gonna be perfect when you move out. You ain't gonna have all your ducks in a row. You ain't gonna be able to have Netflix and Hulu and Paramount Plus. Okay? You might not have a smartphone with all the latest gadgets on it. Make it happen, Captain. Make it happen, Captain. Somebody, I barely use garbage. I'm barely here. Why I gotta take the garbage out? You barely, can I see you? Are we talking right now?
He don't be here like that. He come here, he sleep, and then he on business the rest of the day.
When he's here, he needs to help out. He needs to do some things. He
Well, I
needs
tell
to be
you what,
productive.
he ain't paying no bills,
well, damn it,
and
he
he
gonna
ain't
start
gotta go.
paying some bills around this.
I ain't paying. I gotta pay.
I'd rather for him to get the fuck out.
But listen, my mama said I gotta pay no bills. I ain't paying no bills.
He gotta pay. What I want him to do is save his money and do what he needs to do with his money
You know the reason why
and
he
not
is
pay
the way
no
he is,
bills.
because all this soft shit you bring it to him. He still got the titty in the mouth. You let all that stuff go on.
That's the best line.
You jealous.
That's I'll stop right there.
You jealous.
Got a titty in his mouth. That is the best line right there. She wrong for that. He still got the titty in his mouth, right? That's hilarious. Ronald writes, this has to be a skit. I don't know. Elijah writes, he barely opens the refrigerator. I barely borrow your car. I barely borrow your car. When I get in the refrigerator, I don't open the door all the way. I just barely open it and slide my hands in there and get the food out. That is hilarious. Talking about I'm barely here. I barely use your debit card. That is hilarious. That is too funny. Woo! I'm barely here. Why do I have to take the trash out? Oh my God, man. Woo! This is too funny. This is too funny. Yeah, I don't know if it's real or not. I don't know. I think it is. And I don't know why you would tape something like this. That's the thing that makes me feel like it's not real, because this is a very intimate situation right here. Most people are not going to video record this. Like, what's your reason for video recording this? Ronald writes, that was some major pain. Pop your titty out of his mouth and stop babying him. Major Pain was classic, man. Oh, man, that's hilarious. Right, Angela. Who was even that? That's what makes me think it might be like somewhat of a skip. Because why would you ever videotape an interaction like this with your family? This is very intimate and personal, behind closed doors type shit. And then you put this out on social media. But yo, I check, man. People will do anything for the gram, man. People will put anything out there these days to try to get some more followers. So I don't know.
Like you would say
you
that.
jealous of my son.
Only you would say some bull
But
crap.
I don't know if you jealous or not, but I just know I ain't getting on my mama's house. Like, if I gotta get on my mama's house, you gotta put me on my mama's house at the end of the day.
Well, damn it, I'm gonna be carrying you out. You got to go.
Oh, you don't need to work to carry
Ain't
them
got
out then if
ain't
that's
got
the
no
case.
problem with carrying them out. I just shoot them on out. And you,
Michael, now you know good and damn well I'm not kicking my son out.
Well, what point do you respect
But at the end of the day, I ain't worried about it. Like, if at the end of the day, I'm here. I live here, so.
What does Habakkuk
I'll
mean?
be here, so
at what point
is that Hebrew?
To...
What does Habakkuk mean? Let me back up here. The young brother's got Habakkuk on his t-shirt there. What does that mean? Habakkuk. Anybody, can somebody Google that? What does Habakkuk mean? Is that Hebrew? I don't know. Let me Google it real quick. In biblical names, the meaning of the name Habakkuk, but they spell it differently with 2 Ks. He that embraces a wrestler. I don't know. It must have a different meaning. I'm just trying to figure it out. Kathy writes, stepfather is right. Mom and dad are looking bad. Correct, Amundo. Correct, Amundo. Charles writes, it was recorded to show her level of stupid enabling. Graston writes, kids be wearing shit they don't even know what it means, LOLs. Clifford means it means praise. Okay. DeAndre writes, Habakkuk means mama's boy, and I ain't moving out. Y'all got jokes this morning. That's hilarious. That's what it means, right? I ain't moving out. Too funny. Kevin Lassell writes, Nathan Ivey, she feeling on someone, wait till I show everybody what kind of man you is. I'm telling you, right? Could be. I ain't record nothing like that. You hurt him in the long run because he isn't learning what it needs to be successful, right? Life is hard. Being an adult is hard. It's a struggle. You're going to deal with adversity. You're going to have to go to jobs you don't want to be on and keep your mouth closed when dumb shit is happening around you. You have to swallow that shit and act like it don't taste bad to get that paycheck, to get you to that next level. That's just being an adult. You're not going to be able to have Paramount Plus, Hulu, Netflix, and ESPN Plus, and Disney Plus so you can check out your Marvel. You ain't going to have all that because you can't afford it. You ain't going to be eating organic food, arugula salads. What's that? You know what I'm saying? Talking about I'm barely here. That is too funny. I'm barely here. Oh, my God. Damon writes Baby Boy. Baby Boy too, right? Oh, my God. Too much fun, man. Too much fun. Woo. Oh, my God. The world we live in. I barely wipe my ass right. Jericho writes, mom and dad, in this situation, it's mom and mom's significant other. Right. Right. All I'm saying is they should have had that conversation before he moved in. Like, I know you got a son. What's your expectation for him to move the hell out? And you don't want to put it that way because it makes it seem like I'm trying to push your son away. But I mean, you got to have some idea of what to expect. And y'all got to be on point about the big shit. That's the big shit right there. Where's the stepfather in Baby Boy when we need him, right? Remember he choked him up? He was like, mama. Jericho writes, there are men who grow up to become men who take their wives to court for spousal support when they don't do ish. Huh? Really? Really? TNT writes, he is not a Habakkuk. Is that right? Oh, my God. Listen, I want to remind you today's show is brought to you in part by our friends over at Renew Community Church. They offer a Sunday morning masterclass at 11:45 Eastern Standard Time. This Sunday's topic, learn 5 steps to brainwash your very own mind so you can be happy. The transformative mind is key. You can tap in on Facebook at facebook.com/CincyRenew. And you can tap in on YouTube at Renew Community Church live stream. Tap in on Sunday. Listen, family, I got to make a move. I really appreciate you being here. I plan to be back and hopefully better than ever with you bright and early on Monday morning, 7 a.m. hour. And we'll chop it up on people, politics, and pleasure. All right. Have an excellent Friday. Relax this weekend if you have time. Unplug from the matrix. Pour into your own cup. Take care of yourself. Make sure you get it in. I'm about to go get it in right now. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind. And take care of your spirit. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.